You are now in tune with
Mamba Radio.
All right, what up, everybody? Thank you for tuning into Brown Mamba Radio. For those out there who don't know, my name is Jackson, and it is about 12:30 over here on the West Coast, and the NBA trade deadline has officially ended. I decided to record a little after to give it, to give it a little bit of time just to see if anything trickled in at the last second. Yeah, after about, a couple weeks of a whole lot of nothing, except for one big trade, there was a whole lot of nothing going on, not a whole lot of rumors or, things trickling out or hearsay or maybe this, maybe that. After a whole lot of nothing, within the last few hours, I'd say, NBA Chaos, as an unofficial friend of the pod, Worldwide Wild would say, NBA Chaos is upon us, and there. Although it was just a bunch of relatively small and not affecting trades, there was obviously one big trade that happened, which I will get to last. So like I said, it is now currently 12:36 West Coast time. And by now, like I said, all the trades should be settled in by now. It shouldn't be, there shouldn't be anything, coming out of the woodworks randomly at this point. I believe the last trade was taken care of. So I'm going to run through them since the first one that kind of dropped in this whole trade deadline season. Obviously, we had the Blake Griffin to Detroit trade involving, like I said, the Clippers and the Pistons, where the Clippers traded Blake Griffin, Bryce Johnson, and Willie Reed to the Pistons. In return, they got Avery Bradley, Tobias Harris, Boban, and a first-round pick. Then later on, the next domino fell, where the Bulls traded Nikola Mirotic and the 2021 second-round pick over to the New Orleans Pelicans for to the Bulls for Omar Ashik, Tony Allen, Jameer Nelson, and a 2018 first-round pick. Again, just another good trade, good pickup for the Pelicans. But Bulls are definitely in a rebuilding season. Then we had a couple other small trades, that shouldn't really, aren't really moving the Doppler or moving the radar or anything like that. We had a trade between the Nets and the Bucks. The Nets received Rashad Vaughn and a second-round pick. In return, the Bucks got Tyler Zeller. Like I said, do what you want with that. And then, was it yesterday? I guess you can say the first trade that started to trickle in and kick things off. Yesterday, the Hornets traded for Willie Hernangomez. And the Knicks got Johnny O'Bryant and two future second-round picks in 2020, 2021. Again, just stuff that's not really moving the needle. Make what you want of it. Then today, the Pistons traded for Jameer Nelson, and in return, the Chicago Bulls got Willie Reed, and then and a second-round pick in the future. And I think they're going to trade Willie Reed. Then the big one happened. Which again I'll get to. I'll go in a little more in depth in it later. The big one happened between the Lakers and the Cavs, where the Cleveland Cavaliers traded Isaiah Thomas, Channing Frye, and their 2018 first-round draft pick, not the Nets one, their 2018 first-round draft pick, and in return they get Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance Jr. from the Lakers. That was the big one that just blew up Twitter and Reddit and all that stuff, and it was all over ESPN and all these sport places for obvious reasons. Like I said, I'll get to that a little bit later. Then another string of a couple of minute trades. One between the Grizzlies and the Pistons. The Grizzlies received Bryce Johnson formerly of the Clippers. And in return, the Pistons get James Ennis. And then another trade happened between the Heat and the Hawks, where the Heat received Luke Babbitt and the Hawks received Okaro White. Again, just not moving the needle much on this one. Then another Cavs shakeup, which is the theme of this 2018 NBA trade deadline, is the Cavs cleaning house on this one. So for this one, it was a 3-team trade, the first and only one, I think. No, the first one of the day. A 3-team deal between the Cleveland Cavaliers, the Utah Jazz, and the Sacramento Kings, where the Cavs received Rodney Hood and George Hill. Just pretty good pickups for them, can't lie. Especially since, based on what happened today, it looks like their obvious plan is going to be building towards the future. Those are 2 guys that are good pickups for them. Then the Utah Jazz are going to receive Jay Crowder and Derrick Rose, former MVP. Derrick Rose, who, from what I'm reading, it's just all rumors so far. I haven't seen anything in ink yet. I think the Jazz are going to either buy him out or release him, and he's going to supposedly sign with the Timberwolves. So he can be reunited with Tibbs. That's what I'm seeing. Like I said, nothing confirmed yet. So that's what happened with the Jazz. And then the Kings are going to get Joe Johnson and Iman Shumpert. And then I believe on this one, the Kings are going to also buy out or release Joe Johnson. Not 100% sure, but that's just what I'm seeing. So that's how that trade went down. And then arguably the funniest trade of the day, the Cavs traded Dwayne Wade back to Miami. For obvious reasons. It's pretty plain to see here. Wade wants to go back to Miami and just retire, obviously as a Miami Heat player. Good for him. Good for Gabrielle Union. Gabrielle Union, excuse me, is very, very excited for that one. But yeah, then there was the second 3-team trade of the day between the Dallas Mavericks, the Denver Nuggets, and the New York Knicks. Yes, the New York Knicks received Emmanuel Mudiay and a future second-round draft pick. That's all it says. It doesn't say who from or what year or whatever. It says they get a second-round draft pick. The Denver Nuggets received Devin Harris and a 2018 second-round draft pick. And the Dallas Mavericks received Dougie McBuckets. Looks like the Knicks... You'd want to say the Knicks got their point guard of the future. Obviously Knick fans are gonna hype it up. The whole point guard Knick stigma and stuff. They're hype him up and all that. But they'll be in for a rude awakening when they see how bad Emmanuel Mudiay is on defense. Now I know Frankie Smokes, I guess, can make up for it on defense. Since they can kind of balance each other out. Mudiay will be offense, Smokes will be the defense. I get that. But like I said, we'll just have to wait and see, especially since the devastating loss of Kristaps Porzingis for the season. Yeah, Devin Harris on the Nuggets, sure. Doug McDermott on the Mavs, also sure. Like I said, nothing moving the needle. And same thing with these next few trades. Go through them quickly. The Pelicans and the Nets made another trade. It was a 1-for-1 Rashad Vaughn for Dante Cunningham. Dante Cunningham ending up on the Nets. Rashad Vaughn ending up on the Pelicans. Again, whatever. And then another trade with the Bulls. They traded their draft rights, the Bulls traded the draft rights to Milovan Rakovic. Again, don't know. Help me out on that one, guys. To Portland, and in return, the Bulls got Noah Vonleh. The Hawks and the Wizards made a trade where the Wizards get a future second-round draft pick. In return, the Hawks get Sheldon Mack. I believe this is a return for him. And so, from what I'm seeing, as of 12:44 p.m. West Coast time, the final trade of the 2018 NBA trade deadline was between the Suns and the Magic, where the Phoenix Suns traded away a 2018 second-round draft pick. In return, they get Elfrid Payton, yes, another point guard in Phoenix. So, that is how the trade deadline shaped up for this year. Like I said, not a whole lot. Like I said, it was crazy for the last few hours, but just crazy with a lot of movement. Not, like I said, nothing that really moved the needle except for the big trade. Some of the rumors that I saw, there was a bunch of stuff, but some stuff that had some merit to it. Woj reported that the Lakers were turning down a bunch of offers for Julius Randle that were just pretty much, I guess, only second round picks. I'll get to why that was a smart idea on the Lakers' hand. Kenneth Faried was in the news, saying that he was, him and his camp were looking to get traded, so he can get a fresh start somewhere. However, unfortunately, he could not find a deal. I'm seeing that Indianapolis, the Indiana Pacers were the biggest suitor for him. But like I said, they couldn't get anything done. Same thing with Marcus Smart. Don't know who he was going to go to, but apparently that the Celtics were possibly looking to deal him, potentially to the Grizzlies for Tyreke Evans. He was, rumored to be on the move, potentially. And the Celtics were, I guess I saw they were the top choice. But again, apparently that did not happen, at least yet. And then the biggest one, I guess, that was hanging in the balance was between with DeAndre Jordan. Apparently there was a deal in place with the Cavs. I don't know if it was just a rumor or if that fake Woj account tweeted it out, but apparently there was supposed to be some rumors that DeAndre Jordan and the Cavs were in serious talks to have a deal where DeAndre Jordan would go to the Cavs in return. I think the Clippers were going to get Tristan Thompson and a first-round pick or a second-round pick or something like that. But again, that did not happen. There were some other things that potentially Avery Bradley would go to the Spurs. That didn't happen. And then, just other, like I said, nothing too serious. But again, the big trade between the Cavs and the Lakers. Initially, when it happened, my initial reaction was just, what the fuck? Pardon my French, but it was what the fuck? Like, first of all, because I'm just surprised that they just made a move at all that the Lakers did. Second, it was that it involved Jordan Clarkson, and I know he has a quote unquote a relatively big contract. He's got one of the bigger contracts on the team. He got an extension last year, it was they traded him to clear up cap space. I get that, but he was one of my favorite Laker players. And it's gonna suck to see him go. That's part of why I was like, what the fuck, It's tough when you have a sentimental or an emotional attachment to some of the players. Like I said, Jordan Clarkson was not just my favorite, but a lot of Lakers fans' favorites around here. He definitely is gonna miss LA. If you know anything about Jordan Clarkson, you know how much he loves LA. And sad, the two most LA NBA players are no longer in LA anymore, and Blake Griffin and Jordan Clarkson. It's gonna be sad. Hopefully they can somehow find their way back. That'd be cool. But taking a page of the WWE, we wish them we wish both Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance the best in all their future endeavors. So I guess apparently Larry Nance is going to be representing the Cavs in the dunk contest, which is going to be weird. But yeah, so that happened, and I was just like, what the fuck? And then second of all, it was that Isaiah Thomas was traded. I was like, what the again, it's oddly surprising and not surprising at the same time that Isaiah Thomas was traded. I mean, he made it known that he did not want to be traded, or he's just tired of being traded and all that stuff. And like I said, it's understandable. But when he's playing the way that he's been playing, I know he's hurt and had the hip thing. I get that. But when he's playing the way that he's been playing, he's saying the things that he's been saying and kind of having a bad attitude, and if everything that we're hearing is true about what's going on with them, it's just it was almost imminent. You could see how tumultuous things were in Cleveland. It seemed very toxic. Like I said, unless Isaiah Thomas is just trolling everybody because he was trolling everyone so he could get out of Cleveland. Who knows? I don't know. We might find some stuff out about that more later, but I don't know. But strictly speaking, on the floor and as basketball goes, Isaiah Thomas has not been productive. He's been shooting, a record low, and he's been playing. Or here, I'm gonna pull his stats up right now. I know he hasn't played that much. I know that, but I do know he's been playing a record, or historically bad on offense or on defense. He's got a below average PER, which again, do what you want with PER. Some people, weigh a lot more merit to it. Some people don't. But his win shares is negative -0.01, which is not good at all. He's shooting 36% from the field, 25% from three, which is embarrassing. And like I said, I know he's hurt. I get it. Okay, I get it. But it's just, at the end of the day, you got to produce. And it's such a sad, I hate to say this term sad because he's still young and can turn everything around. But what a fall from grace, man! From where he was as the hero in Boston to being traded, for Kyrie Irving and just just everything that's happened. It's just what a fall from grace. Just a crazy deal. And starting with the Cavs, there's I have a lot more talking points about the Lakers, so I'll do them last. But starting with the Cavs, people say, or there's a lot of rumors out there as far as who is running the Cavs. Is it Dan Gilbert? Is it whoever their general manager? I forget that guy's name. Is it that guy? Is it Tyronn Lue? Or is it LeBron? And obviously, it's not so obvious, but it's pretty clear who is calling the shots here. LeBron is obviously not staying, and he's letting it be known. One way or another, he let it be known that he's not staying. Because there's I'm trying to process all this right now because apparently I'm seeing this on Twitter right now. I'm going through everything, my notes, and it's on Twitter. I see on Twitter right now that apparently LeBron was not told about this, or he was not told about the trades before they were made. Now, that could be seen as true. Because Isaiah Thomas was involved, and he was obviously the biggest cancer in that locker room, it seemed like. But at the same time, the biggest thing that this is doing is it's freeing up so much cap space for the Lakers. And like I said, I'll get to the Lakers a little bit later, but it's freeing so much cap space for him. And LeBron is, initially it seemed that that was the plan. He was going to leave. But now that they signed Rodney Hood and George Hill, and those who are, again, like I said, they're not, gangbusters. They're not all-stars or anything, but they're serviceable guys, and they're serviceable guys who can who are good at their job, and Rodney Hood a little bit better than George Hill, but it's like, are they going to win a championship with that roster? Probably not. Even if LeBron playing peak LeBron or being peak LeBron. He also had Kyrie Irving with him. So, and there was none of those. Trust me, no one on that team right now. There is no other Kyrie Irving anywhere to be seen on that team. So, the chances of LeBron leaving are very, very, very high. And so this also, you could flip it and flip what the Cavs are doing as, like I said earlier, trying to create some kind of a sustainable roster to go into the future with. Since like I said, the writing's on the wall that LeBron might be leaving. So, like I said, they just got to try and do what they can. And like I said earlier, the pick that they traded is not the Nets pick that they have, that they got in that Kyrie deal. So that's still going to be a high draft pick, or it should be a high draft pick. So they're like I said, just more stuff to build for the future. And like I said, they're kind of setting themselves up where they they can go both ways with what they're doing. Like I'm saying, they can say, look, they can try to pitch the ball. Look, man, we're going to try and build from the future, and we're going to try to do these things, and we're going the right direction. Or they can be like, well, if LeBron leaves, they can sell it to their fans in that same, that same sense. So then, yeah, and I'm also seeing now that they might sign Kendrick Perkins, which is just freaking hilarious. But they're gonna need. They definitely got some roster spots to fill. That they just traded a ton of guys. But my next thing is, or my last thing is, what does this say again about the management, and then what does it say about what Dan Gilbert's doing? Because as we all know, Dan Gilbert is not afraid to let his voice be heard, and is not afraid to voice his opinions when he doesn't like things. As we all know, he did the the infamous letter when LeBron left. He also did, he was been very vocal, and he's not, like I said, he's just not afraid to put himself out there. But we haven't heard anything from him yet. So there's rumors that he wants to move. There's rumors that he wants to try to do some more stuff in Detroit with his casinos and his businesses and all that stuff. Whether that means getting ownership in the Pistons, I don't know. But he might be leaving. Who knows? I share this theory with the great Bill Simmons that, usually whenever someone's on the way out, they try to just do some kind of crazy move because they don't give a shit because they're not going to be there next year. Mitch Kupchak did it with the Lakers, with some of his trades and some of his deals and stuff like that. Like I said, Stan Van, it looks like Stan Van's doing some of that this year, training for Blake. Is he going to be there along? What's the future with Detroit? So like I said, a lot of weird things on writing or trying to read between the tea leaves. Even there aren't really a whole lot of tea leaves, but yeah, like I said, the Cavs obviously trying to have some kind of sustainable roster for their future. Whether it's with or without LeBron, we'll have to wait and see. Because as a Laker fan, it looks like LeBron's coming to the Lakers. Like I mentioned before, by getting rid of Clarkson and Nance, don't forget that Nance is traded, but by getting rid of both those guys, mainly Clarkson, you're clearing up a lot of cap space. I'm seeing the numbers right now are a little bit up in the air. I'm seeing, someone saying like 60 million, someone saying like 70 million. Either way, though, it's enough for 2 max deals. So 1 is good, and 2 is always great. And, who are 2 of the biggest free agents coming up next season that are rumored to be coming to LA or rumored that want to come to LA? Yes, LeBron and Paul George. So, like I said, it's all speculation at this point. Nothing is set in stone. These guys are obviously not going to say anything on because they're obviously on other teams, and they don't want to ruin any kind of chemistry they got going with them. Just for right now, they gotta save face and play the game. Excuse me, but like I said, initially I can get why people are upset at this trade. It's like, why would we trade 2 younger, good players like Clarkson and Nance, and get a hurt, damaged goods Isaiah Thomas, who's coming up. Who's leaving Cleveland with an attitude problem, and excuse me, I got the hiccups all of a sudden. And Channing Frye, don't forget Channing Frye's in this deal, who's about 100 years old almost, and and a first round pick that isn't even the Nets one, so it's probably based on where the Cavs are going to be. It's probably going to be somewhere in the middle or closer to the bottom of the first round. So I can see why people are upset at that. But, they have to see the long play in this one. Again, they're clearing up cap space. Excuse me. They got by getting rid of, Jordan Clarkson's contract. And, I'm going to pour one out for Clarkson right now. Just got to pour one out for the homie. And also, by trading Nance, that opens up more minutes for, obviously, the future of Kyle Kuzma. Clearly, they see the future of the Lakers as being with Kuzma, Ingram, and Lonzo, which is not a bad idea. If you ask me, it's not a bad idea. Now, people are going to say, why didn't they trade Randall? Why didn't they trade Randall? It's because Julius Randle is a free agent after the season. So if they feel like they didn't want to, I don't think they wanted to break too much of the team up. And it's like, why would we trade away a guy And essentially, because they were only to get second round picks out of it, and it's to them it wasn't worth it, And I understand that they could try to see, they can try and try to get his best or the best deal that they possibly could, and to them a second round pick wasn't that. So they can just say, all right, that's fine, whatever. He can walk if he wants to anyway. If we get LeBron and Paul George, that's fine. We can let him walk. Trust me, I'll have no problem with that. So like I said, it frees up more minutes for Kuzma. Like I said, Randall's a free agent; he can walk. And this year, so like I said, that's the long play. Everyone knows that's the long play. And then the future is the future. We can't predict it. We can speculate all we want, but we can't predict the future. But as far as right now goes, in my opinion, Channing Frye has more of a chance to stay with the team than Isaiah Thomas does. For those of you who don't know, Channing Frye, although he is, like I said, an aged one, a veteran in every sense of the term, he still can make threes, which is what we need. He can space the floor better, stretch the floor. He can hit, like I said, knock down some threes, which is always good. But like I said, I believe he has a better chance of staying. For those of you who don't know, Luke Walton and Channing Frye are good friends. They're going back to their days playing college ball at Arizona. They were good friends. Yes, that is how old Channing Frye is. And don't forget that Channing Frye used to be represented by Rob Pelinka, because in case you forgot or didn't know, Rob Pelinka was an NBA agent for a very long time, and a good one at that. He represented Kobe amongst everyone else, so I think that tells you enough right there. And so, yeah, like I said, Frye, I think, is going to stick around a long haul. They already asked Luke Walton. He's not sure, excuse me, where Isaiah Thomas fits in long term. And it doesn't look good so far, because if you watched the Jump Show on ESPN, apparently Rachel Nichols or Ramona, I can't remember who it was, but either way, Rachel Nichols or Momo already say that Isaiah Thomas, people are getting text messages from Isaiah Thomas's agent or whatever from his camp, saying that he is not going to be coming off the bench. Like I said, not even in LA yet, and already causing problems, or potentially causing problems, or causing potential problems for the Lakers. And like I said, if Isaiah Thomas is going to be trying to troll, if he's really upset, or he's just trolling, or whatever is going on with him, his antic and his attitude combined with LeVar Ball's antics and all that stuff. I know he's a little bit more busy with Lithuania now, but he can still say some stuff. If he obviously he can say whatever he wants, because no one's gonna stop him. But that too could combine for a very, very, very deadly and poisonous combination, which I hope will not affect the team going forward. But like I said, if Isaiah Thomas does stick around, he is definitely going to be playing for a new contract from someone else. Personally, I do not want Isaiah Thomas on the team. It is nothing against the guy. Like I said, it's nothing against the guy personally. I know everything about him already. I've been a fan of Isaiah Thomas ever since he was a rookie with Sacramento. But even then, in Sacramento, there was always he had attitude issues. They were with Boogie, but they were still there. And I know, and I think it just hit them, the fact that they were with Boogie, people overlooked the fact that he was obviously there's two sides to every coin. And sure, Boogie was getting upset, but Isaiah Thomas was probably giving him a lot of reason for it. And then that followed him into Phoenix. And again, that's just the situation in Phoenix wasn't that great. There was like 4 or 5 point guards there. It was like him and Dragic and Brandon Knight and Eric Bledsoe. There's a whole bunch of guys who were good, and a lot of alphas. And sometimes alphas can come off as kind of like dicks, and then they have attitude problems and stuff like that. But that's, like I said, it seems like it's more of a pattern and not an accident kind of thing. And so, like I said, it looks like he'll be, like I said, so for those reasons, I think it's best that he doesn't stick around on the team for that much longer. Like I said, I feel for the guy. He's still got a lot left in the tank. Like I said, I just think he'd be better off with someone else, especially considered that, the Lakers already have their point guard of the future, quote unquote, in Lonzo Ball. And Josh Hart has definitely stepped up, and he is, like I said, Josh the Hitman Hart is stepping his shit up and playing very, very well for the Lakers. So you'd hate to see his minutes get taken away. And then so what does that mean for KCP? What does he do? Where does he go? Does he start? Does he go on the bench? I don't know. I mean, his defense has been fucking horrible, lately or recently in most of the season. So, like I said, he can just come off and be a spark off the bench offensively, which I don't mind. Like I said, when Lonzo comes back, I'm assuming Isaiah Thomas is going to be starting if he's healthy when he gets here, if Lonzo's out still. But like I said, when both of those guys are healthy, or if both those guys are healthy and on the roster at the same time, I gotta go with Lonzo, at least starting it. Just why obviously that's the long plan. That's the long play for the Lakers. So why would they mess that up by, having, Isaiah Thomas there? And so, like I said, definitely going to be interesting to see, a smart Lakers trade, for once, finally, in a long time. And if I'm not mistaken, the first big one for Pelinka. Actually, no, it was getting rid. Well, again, pulling another one out for the homie D'Lo. Pull one out. They had to get rid of that Mozgov contract, and D'Lo it was the only way they could do it. So pouring another one out for the homie D'Lo. But yeah, man. Rob Pelinka and Magic Johnson looking like they're really making moves out here, and hopefully it leads to some more good moves in the future, if you know what I mean. Maybe 2 good moves in the future, if you know what I mean. And maybe even more in 2019, if you know what I mean, because apparently that's their strategy. They said they're not interested in 2018. Might be some Machiavellian reverse psychology bullshit, getting people off the scent, kind of thing. But if you don't know who's a free agent in 2019, there is an unhappy fella down in San Antonio who apparently doesn't like the way that his team is handling his injury situation, who happens to be from the LA area. I'm not saying he's from LA, because he's not. He's from Riverside. But from the LA area, who might make a great addition to the Lakers. And if you don't know who I'm talking about by now, it's Kawhi, obviously. So yeah, and then a few other guys. But like I said, there's a lot of options for the Lakers going forward. They showed that they're pretty serious with these moves today. And like I said, only time will tell as to what happens next. But like I said, off to a pretty good start. This year's not gonna end the way people thought. Let's just be honest, okay? We're taking a step back. They are they're definitely taking a step back with this one. But like I said, sometimes you got to take 1 or 2 steps back to take giant leaps forward. So like I said, I don't always like to play the waiting game. However, if there's a lot of great potential on the other end, I'm willing to wait. And like I said, this is in my opinion at least, this is definitely a move worth waiting for, or they're taking steps in the right direction, I'll say. So yes, that's gonna wrap it up for me on this 2018 NBA trade deadline. I guess special episode. No music or anything on this one today. Like I said, just wanted to, break down at least give my little breakdown on what I thought happened and stuff like that. So that was a trade deadline, but Let me know what you guys think. Did you guys like the Laker trade? Did you like any of the trades, or did you not like them? Let me know. In the comments or anything like that, or whatever, however you guys do it. But yeah, let me know in the comments or anything like that. You can yell at me about it on Twitter or on Instagram. Like I said, let's look up Brown Mamba Radio, or look up my personal one at Jackson, but that's JXCKSXNNN. That's 3 N's. I'm trying to get the 1 N. I'm coming after you. I'm trying to figure out a way that I can get that one. But I can't get that handle somehow. Someone else got it, but they're not using it. So Twitter people, if you're out there listening, help me out so I can get it. The Instagram people too, help me out so I can get that. But yeah, that's how it went. Like I said, I personally like it, but like I said, if you don't like it, let me know. If you do like it and you agree with me, like I said, let me know too. And then yeah, so that's gonna do it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow with all my regular weekly recap and previewing what's gonna happen over the weekend. And yeah, that'll be it for me. Make sure you tune in to the Laker game tonight. I don't think Isaiah Thomas and Channing Frye are gonna be playing. I know for a fact Jordan Clarkson and Larry Nance are gonna be playing. So again, pouring another one out for the homies. And do the Clippers play tonight? Let me double check. Do they play tonight? No, they play tomorrow in the big game where they're going to Detroit. So first game against Blake, which again sounds so weird. But yeah, that's going to do it for me today. Thank you guys, like always, for rocking with me. Thank you for listening. If you like what you heard, make sure you guys subscribe on all and follow along on all platforms, SoundCloud, iTunes, Stitcher, YouTube, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. Like I said, just make sure you follow along, subscribe, and if, like I said, spread the word. Tell your friends to do that. Tell your family, tell your mom, tell your dad, tell your Valentine to subscribe. I don't think they would be too upset if you got them a Brown Mamba Radio subscription for Valentine's Day. So yeah, that's it. Catch you guys in the next one. Peace.